Hey, welcome to your Sagittarius horoscopes for the week of January 28th through February 3rd. No planets in Sagittarius anymore. Even Ceres influence is on its way out. Not gone, but on its way out. Pretty close to being out of your sign probably next week or so. So the influence is still there. Focuses on relationships. And what's interesting about Ceres placement in this is that sort of nurturing maternal influence that she has over your relationships. Now, what is interesting is I talk to a lot of people. They all say the same thing in terms of all of their relationships, because of course, this is not just about partnerships. This is about all of your relationships with all the people that you form relationships with, which for Sagittarians happens to be quite a lot, actually. The one thing that I hear everybody saying all the time is, I'm having trouble in my relationship, and it's because they do this. No one ever comes up to me and say I'm having trouble in my relationship because I can't stop doing this. Nobody ever owns up to their own responsibilities in terms of what they're doing in the relationship. And a lot of that has to do with just how human beings are wired, especially these days. It is hard to take accountability for our actions. It really is. Even for somebody who knows better, it is still difficult to take accountability for your actions, especially, oh my God, I almost said especially. Can you believe that? Especially when we really feel that we are in the right for whatever reason. This week, this is why this week and Ceres influence is really important in here. We can't nurture our relationships without looking at what we're putting into them. And it's very important that we know exactly what we are putting into these relationships, be it good, bad, or indifferent. We're really good at identifying all the things we do for these people. We're not very good at identifying what we do to these people in some cases. And yes, I'm speaking to Sagittarians because Sagittarians are the most fun people in the world, and they can also be the most unfun and sometimes mean people in the world too. And while we all find that hilarious at a party or, something like that, it's not so great in your day-to-day life. So we're really looking, and this is not just a Sagittarius thing either. Everybody needs to take accountability for their actions. Everybody needs to look at their own part that they play in their relationships. It's not just about what's happening around us. A lot of it is influenced by us specifically, and we have power and control over those relationships by how we communicate with the people around us, by how we treat the people around us, and even in many cases, just how we meld with the people around us. Sometimes we're putting an awful lot of energy into relationships that really just aren't that great for us. There's a lot of different scenarios and situations. The point is, this week gives you an opportunity to really pay attention to that and to nurture those parts of the relationship that are not going great that you are responsible for. By doing that, it gives you the option to be able to go up to these people that you love and say, this is what I'm making a point to do because I love you. You're in my life and I love you. And this is what I am willing to do for you. And this is what I'm asking in return. It's a nice, even exchange. And while it's not foolproof, I have used this system in my own relationships before in the past. And it does seem to work pretty well because you're not putting somebody on the spot and saying, you have to change, and I don't, because it's kind of unfair. Instead, you're creating an exchange. You change something, I'll change something, we grow together. Like magic, right? And we all need a little bit more magic in our lives. So those difficult relationships, this week, it's really important to take a look at, to take our focus off of the other person and to put it on ourselves. Look in that mirror. Um, this happens a lot in marriages, you know. I hear all the time from men that their women are always on them and nagging them all the time. I hear a lot from women that their men just aren't listening to them, you know. Well, the men are probably tuning them out because they're nagging and on their backs all the time. So by rewiring that conversation to where you're not nagging and on top of them all the time, they might actually listen to you more often, you know? It's little changes. I think a lot of how we react in certain relationships is a societal thing. This is what we learned from our parents. This is what our parents learned from their parents. It just kind of sort of goes downhill. But not every relationship is the same. And it is really a shame to treat a good relationship in the exact same way that we've seen relationships being treated in before, especially if it's just not good for the relationship. So this week really is about playing our parts in those relationships, making sure that we're playing the right parts, of course, so that we can give the people in our lives something to aspire to, if that makes sense. And that is what I have for you guys. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link, which is down there in the description of the video. I love all the coffees. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Also, check out my website. Check out, you can book time on my website, easy, really, really easily. Also, you can check out the membership options. You can check out the calendar of events. There's some events coming up. They will be put on the calendar some point this week. You don't want to miss that, especially if it's something that you might want to check out. That's it. That's all I got. I'm Melissa Bruce, a heavy metal psychic. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys, come on, you're awesome. And this is just going to make you even more awesome, even better than the rest of us as usual. I'll see you guys next week. Make it a great week, you guys.